Hello, welcome to today's immigration tidbit. An E-1 visa, what is that? Well, that is called a treaty trader visa, as opposed to the E-2, which involves treaty investment. So with the E-1, if you happen to be from a country that has a treaty with the U.S., and you are doing trade with the United States, then you can come on an E-1. And it doesn't take hardly any investment at all to properly do an E-1. The key on the E-1 is the substantiality of the trade. Okay, so it doesn't have to be products. It could be information, could be communication, could be technical information, whatever it happens to be. The E-1 looks at that trade and determines, number one, if it's real, and two, if it's more than 50% more or less of the business that your company's doing. So let's say you're in Israel and you have an electronics company already in place, and let's say 75% of your contracts is dealing with upgrading electronic boards and then sending them back to the US. That would be trade, okay? And you would be able to apply for the E-1, continue to have the business running in Israel, continue to have the trading done, and even increase it, so that when you come to the U.S., you can't just shut down the company which you have in operation, in my example, in Israel, because then the E-1 would cease to exist. So with an E-1, you definitely have to have a company in the foreign country as well as doing the trade in the U.S. Now, you don't necessarily have to have a company in the U.S. If you can show the trade. Generally, it's easier to have a company here. But either way, the trade itself, you can, submit as evidence all kinds of different things, but you could submit contracts, invoices, receipts. The trade should already be ongoing at the time that you submit the E-1. It should not be, you're going to trade. Now, it is possible you could get a very big contract, for example, with the U.S., that consists of, millions of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars, whatever it is, of trade, and then submit that contract as evidence of the trade. Okay.